Global.
What's up?
What's up? What's up?
Introduce yourself. Let everybody know why you're here.
Sure, for sure. So my name's Eli. I go by Eli Smacks. I'm a producer in Dallas. And I'm here today to talk a little bit about my experience in relation to being shot up at Prime Bar in Dallas and some other things that transpired after that.
So I heard about that shooting at the popular club, Prime Bar. The story made the news. That happened on March 19th. What does that day mean to you?
Yeah, for sure. So I actually had been at the Lil Durk concert at Southside Ballroom, and the people that I was driving were like, hey, like there's a birthday bash, we want to run over there. So I was like, Prime's not my scene. I don't really mess with Prime. But I was like, you know what, I got you, I'll give you a ride. So I was standing in the corner, and out of nowhere, it's just like I got shot, and I heard the shots at the same time. And I was only there for about 20 minutes when it happened. And so that just started the whole night pretty much. It was like,
oh wow. So you didn't know that you had been shot at that time?
No, I heard the shot and felt it at the same time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because I was hit first, even though there were 8 people that were hit.
Wow, I know that had to be extremely scary,
it
traumatizing.
Was really scary for sure.
Right. How has that situation changed your everyday life?
It's been really challenging, just because the situation itself was so scary. For one, just the flashbacks and things like that. Normally, it takes time for your body to mentally heal besides physically heal, and I would say that just giving myself space to mentally heal from the flashbacks besides the physical issues has been a little hard, just sleeping wise and things like that. I spent 4 days in the hospital, and because of COVID, they didn't allow any visitors, so that was really rough not seeing my kids and things like that. And then even now, I still have a blood clot in my leg. And then I'm having heart issues, which were caused in regards to as complications. So I'm not released to go to work. I'm not supposed to be doing anything strenuous. Even walking up my stairs at my house causes my heart to race, where I could have a heart attack. So it's a big change. We're a month out now, and I'm still struggling, mentally, physically more so. But yeah.
Right.
It's definitely different.
Wow. Is that going to going forward? Is that going to change how you go out, if you go out at all?
Yeah, most definitely it will. Being that I'm a producer, I do involve myself heavily in the industry. I am out a lot, not necessarily to party or have fun, but just networking and things like that with artists and at events and underground. I was at an underground event in Houston last weekend, where they had different people perform, which is how I network and get people to network with and get my beats and things like that heard and out there. So just for the last month, I've had to sit down kind of away from that and just really try to figure out. The doctors still don't know quite why my heart is having so many issues caused from being shot 3 times. But as they work through that with me, it's really, I don't want to be selfish, but it is pretty hard for me, because I am so used to being on the go all the time,
right?
And having to sit down and feel you have the energy to go do stuff, but then as soon as you even walk through the grocery store, just having your heart race and get dizzy, it's not normal. I'm young, I shouldn't be having to deal with that.
Right. That sucks. I'm sorry that you had to go through that. Yeah, you think it's maybe the anxiety that could be causing that?
No, so I lost so much blood that it's caused ill effects on my heart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned that you were a producer. Do you work with, just by yourself, or do you work for a company, or?
Yeah, so I am independent. I have had some offers. However, the only thing I'll do is, as an independent producer, I also work with a group that's a production group, but we kind of just collab here and there. So, it just depends. Some of the people that I work with that are in that group, you can see them on my page as well, would be Big Cuz, who just recently went gold for engineering the Mo 3 Broken Love track. Cartier, he works with Luke Nasty. Splurge the God works with one of his main people he worked with was Mo 3 as well.
Right.
So just people like that, we collab and make fire. But outside of that, I also work independently.
Right. That sounds like a pretty cool career you chose.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I did a little bit of research. I noticed that it was something in your bio called Ice Mob Hits. What is that? Can you tell us?
So that's the group that I mentioned.
Okay.
So we've met up in Atlanta, we met up in Houston. Recently, after I got shot, we were supposed to all meet up in LA, although I had to sit that one out. And even Sergeant Jafu was there, who produced Bust It for Eric Banks.
Right.
So we just meet up and collab, work for different artists. When we were in Atlanta, we worked for an artist that's signed to the Hit Cartel, which is the Genius and things like that. So
Okay.
yeah.
Now, are you originally from Dallas?
Yes, so I was actually born in Mesquite, but adopted when I was young into a cult. So I actually didn't get out of the cult until I was 18. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
So fun backstory. So I wasn't actually like involved in anything in Dallas. I was raised way out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Now, back to your situation that happened, the shooting that happened. I see you have a GoFundMe. Have you received any backlash for starting that GoFundMe? And if so, why do you think you received that?
Yeah, for sure. So I really haven't received very much backlash for it. A lot of people were supportive. Like I think over 300 people actually shared it for me. However, there was some people that did post like slanderous things about the GoFundMe after I had posted it. But I think it had to do with the fact that I had made an investment, and then when I asked for my investment back because the period of time was over, they started threatening me and things like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's I think why they posted that. Don't give anything to this white girl. She's privileged, which I'm not white, by the way. If anyone thinks that, but yeah, don't give privilege. Don't give this white girl shit. She's a fraud or something like that.
Oh,
so,
wow.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. What are you, if you don't mind me asking? What's your?
That is a great question. So I like to say that I'm really just mixed up. So even though I was adopted, my actual birth mother was from Europe. She was Asian, and then my father was Spanish and Native American mainly, but also a little bit Nigerian. So I'm very like.
Wow, mixed. Yes.
So, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Now, we noticed on your, I was looking over on your page, and I had seen some comments that you had made about a different blogger maybe stealing $1,500 from you. What exactly did you invest $1,500 in? What?
Yeah, exactly. So kind of a backstory from that. Before I got shot, I was actually working with them. Basically, he came up to me and was like, hey, in exchange for rides to different events, that I'll get you into the event, but I'll be at the event on behalf of the blog and things like that. So I would give rides in exchange for the access to the events, because it worked out for me because I would network, and it worked out for the blogger or whatever, because on behalf of the blog, he would go do, take footage and things like that. So that had been going on for a little while, and so we had done so many events, and it went really, really well that, he had brought to my attention, hey, we've been doing really well, blah, 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 invest in the brand or whatever, and I'll bring you back this amount or whatever. And so I was like, okay, cool, but I'm a businesswoman first. And I was like, this sounds like a finesse, but because we've been working together and because of the brand that you have behind you, that feels pretty solid. I was like, let's go ahead and do this. And so there was a 16-day window that my money was supposed to be back. So that 16-day window was, the money was supposed to be returned April 1st. So I had made the deal before I got shot. The blogger was actually there the night that I got shot. And then actually ended up having, because of that, because I had been the ride and all that, like had access to my car, my garage remote and things like that. So I don't know if at that point he was concerned about my well-being or what happened. He tried to act like, like that was the case, but then ended up running off, blocking me off the blogging page, off his personal page, his phone number, everything like that. Had my money, obviously my investment, my garage remote and everything like that, because of the fact that he had been with me the night that I was shot, and I was his ride, the EMS and all that, just, gave that all to him. So I had reached out to him multiple times from different numbers. I had reached out through what he had said was the co-owner of the blog, and I just got ignored repeatedly. So it had been a month. So that's why recently I posted on my story like, hey everyone, I need you to tag them, because I couldn't even tag them at this point or get a hold of anyone. And lo and behold, within like 30 minutes of posting, this guy behind the blog called me for 55 seconds and then threatened me, saying, if you don't take those posts down, you're gonna have a problem, and then hung up on me, reblocked me. And then other people started hearing about it, finding out about it, reaching out to like the head of the blog, and then come to find out, after speaking with him, he says that, this person that was operating on behalf of the blog was doing so like behind his back kind of, or not to his knowledge. So like the investment, the events he was going to, the footage that he was reselling to like artists and things like that were all going in this individual's pocket instead of towards the blog that he represented, in the brand he represented. So basically he had a facade and things like that he's been running in Dallas specifically.
Okay, and you said the head of the individual that runs the blog basically told you that the guy was a fraud and didn't work for the company.
He said he does work for the company, but in this regard, those things were not things that he was told to do.
Oh, okay.
Right, so he was over acting like he was someone who he was not, in regards, like he does work for the company, but he was acting like he was basically a co-owner of the company or someone who basically pulled strings of the company, but he was really not even anything close to that.
Okay, so at this time, did anyone offer you your money back, or?
So I was asked like, hey, what do you want me to do? Because this has nothing to do with me, by the head of the blog. However, he did say he'd have a conversation with him. Now I have been told that my garage remote will be returned, which sounds so petty, but like
Yes, it does.
but like what's crazy is like that would have never been an issue except that I was shot. You know what I'm saying? Right. So like all my stuff was in my car. You know, so that's why I even had access to that. And then on top of that, as far as the money goes, he's apparently responded and said that he needs a whole nother month because he hasn't even been in Dallas. Although I find that hard to believe because I've seen pictures of him at events that I have other people at that I know in Dallas within the last month. So I'm not sure if I really will get my money back. And it is only $1,500, but it's still, I think, more of a business thing because for me, bad business is bad business. So the fact that the head blogger didn't necessarily take any responsibility kind of doesn't sit right with me, only because I understand where he's coming from. Like, this employer was operating without my knowledge, but he was still operating behind the name of your brand. So even if you didn't have anything to do with it, maybe try to make it right. Like, you know, there's things that I feel like he could have come up with. Even though he asked me what I wanted him to do, I feel like it's something that he should have taken initiative on.
Agreed. I totally agree.
Especially my situation of being unable to hardly even grocery shop for myself due to like issues from being shot at the event. You know
at the event that you were there with his affiliate.
Exactly.
Right. I completely get that.
Exactly.